Hello, Eastern West Virginia Technical Community College Art Appreciation students for spring 2026. So every semester I make one of these little videos that kind of walks you through the class a little bit, how to get an A, what you need to know, kind of information as we start off. If you've taken other Brightspace courses before through Eastern, some of this information may be a review. If you have not, if this is your first semester, please everybody stick with me through the entire video because we're going to talk about your first assignment. But definitely give me your attention. Let's jump right in so it doesn't get long. All right. These are the learning outcomes for the course. So by the end of the semester, you will all be able to identify, analyze, describe, recognize, discuss, compare, contrast, artworks all throughout, kind of history from different places and locations, and use that critical vocabulary. Just so you know, the vocabulary of art is also the vocabulary of how you look at things. So no matter what you're majoring in, if you're going to be a nurse, if you're going to be a lawyer, a doctor, a dentist, whatever the case is, you're going to at some point in time have to communicate what you see to other people. And this class will help you build vocabulary in that. So even if you're like, I'm just taking this as an elective, it's going to help you. All right. So attendance. Attendance is recorded through weekly discussions, quizzes, and exams. There are things due every single week, and that's basically how I know that you are participating, that you're still on board with the class. Students are expected to meet those deadlines, and then late assignments will not be accepted without approval from the instructor. If you know that you're going to get surgery, you're going to get your wisdom teeth removed or something like that, and you're going to be kind of out of it for a week or something like that, email me ahead of time. Let's work something out. We'll get you, make sure that you're caught up and all that kind of stuff. All right. So when you first land in Brightspace in our course, this is what you will see. Now, a couple things may be different, like this image here might be different. And then our course number, that kind of stuff will be different. But right here in this calendar area is going to be kind of the upcoming events is what they call it. That's basically due dates and that sort of thing. So our first discussion is due Friday, right? So that's very important. So you need to do that, do it now. If you miss it, there's a chance that you will be put on a I haven't participated in the class, I maybe need to be dropped kind of thing. So get that discussion done. We're going to talk more about it at the end of this video. Okay, so this is important. If you go, so again, we're in the class, right? This is kind of after the initial landing page. There's something here called the table of contents that's over on this side here. It has things like start here, which is where this video will be. I'm also going to email this to everyone. And then there's the syllabus and the assignment schedule. The assignment schedule gives you a breakdown of every single week, what we're doing, what you need to see, what you need to participate in. So usually every week is going to be a video lecture and then a discussion and then a quiz. Now, there are a few exceptions, and we're going to talk about those a little bit more in depth here as we go. But this schedule should help you go through. On that note, if there's something that you think you should see, like I don't see a discussion, but it says in here that I should see it, and I don't be afraid to shoot me an email. Everybody makes mistakes. I could have put in the dates that the discussion was visible. I could have put 2028 or something, and then nobody's seeing it, or just mistakes happen and technology happens. So don't be afraid to reach out and be like, I think I should see something, but I don't. That kind of stuff. All right. So each week work will be due on Monday at 11:59 p.m. So that's our big due date all throughout this semester is Monday at sort of midnight or just before midnight. There are two exceptions. That is the first week of class, so this week of class, and then the finals week, which ends on a Friday. So there are two Friday due dates, first week and the last week, and those will be noted in the assignment schedule. All right, so what do you need for this class? awesome. We do not have a book anymore. We've switched to an OER, so there is nothing that you need to purchase. You do not need to purchase a textbook. You need a computer with reliable internet access. That's all you need to take this course. You're going to get on weekly, you're going to participate. Sometimes you're going to have to log on a couple times in order to reply to people who are replying to you in discussions and that kind of stuff. But it's all free, which is awesome. Awesome for Eastern. All right, so how are you gonna get information if we don't have a book? There's a series of video lectures that were created by me. They are not perfect, just being honest about it, but they kind of get the job done. So in Unit 1, you'll see here, this is again that table of contents. It's going to be on the left-hand side of the screen. And underneath of that, a syllabus and assignment schedule is Unit 1, the basics. You'll see a schedule kind of calendar thing, and then when you scroll down from there, there'll be the lecture. Right, so our first official lecture is the basic styles of art, and then the quiz will be underneath of that. You want to watch the video before you take the quiz. Now, on that note, there's another thing, which is discussions that are due every week. So let's talk about those. First, we're going to talk about academic honesty and syllabus change statements and that kind of stuff. So the syllabus changes. Assignments may change. We are all people who lived through the pandemic, so we all know sometimes stuff changes and you have to roll with the flow a little bit. If something does change, if a due date changes, anything like that, I will be emailing you, I will be making announcements. That information will be getting to you. Now, there's academic dishonesty. Eastern's not going to tolerate it. I'm not going to tolerate it, that kind of stuff. These discussions are a lot of times like present your opinions. If I talk in the lecture about a work of art and I talk all about the colors and all these other kind of things, and then your response has a bunch of information that doesn't have anything to do with that, but sounds very AI created, I'm going to call you out on it. That's going to be a new thing because I keep getting these discussions that are, this civilization existed from this time period to this time period, and they are most known for the invention of the wheel. And I'm like, I didn't talk about any of that. No one has. So read the discussion, kind of figure out the discussion, then watch the video, right? Okay, one more quick thing before we leave this slide is this special notes. So due to kind of the nature of this class, the subject matter, we're going to touch on a couple things that might be uncomfortable. You're going to see nudity in this course. You're going to see and talk about aspects of human sexuality, things like religions, things like human sacrifices, things, just some potentially uncomfortable topics. On that note, there will then be responses to that sometimes to those cultures and whatnot. We're not going to tolerate anything that's negative, that's racist or sexist or anything like that. That's not really what this statement is about. It's more, I just want to prepare you that this is a college course. So we are going to talk about college level concerns a little bit. Okay, moving on. All right. So again, there's I already kind of talked about where this essay, or I'm sorry, where the quizzes are that you will find. They are going to be due on Mondays at 11:59 p.m. Okay, there is one essay that you will write throughout the semester. All of that information is kind of found just below that first unit in this formal analysis subunit here. Now, there is a video lecture giving you the instructions. There's a resource link. There's written instructions. There's a rubric. There is all the information that you will need to get an A on that essay. Remember, you need to cite sources. That's a big part of this, and they have to be done in a specific way, etc. Okay, discussions. So at the top in Brightspace, there's this green bar that you can kind of see here. And then one of the sections of that is discussions. This is where you will find all of the discussions. So it's kind of like in the unit table of contents is where you'll find the lectures and the quizzes kind of right on top of each other. And then the discussions are other places. It should be that you'll only see kind of like 2 to 3 discussions at a time. This one that says contact each other is always open. It's kind of like a general place where if you're like, I have this question, you can throw it out in that area. This is important. Discussions are not optional. They're a category of attendance. They're each worth 10 to 15 to 20 points. Some of them require you to comment on fellow students. Some of them require you to do more than just respond to something. So those are worth a little bit more points. They total up to more than 2 quizzes throughout the semester. So do not think that they are optional. They definitely need your attention. They all also need to be worth, are also all worth 100 points. Or, sorry, need to be 100 words. Why can't I go to the next slide? Okay, there's more information on your syllabus. Again, I kind of touched on these things already. If you need assistance due to a disability of any kind, accommodations, anything like that, the school has a ton of accommodations, paperwork and whatnot that you'll need to do. Reach out to them, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help in any way. And there are a ton of resources for that sort of thing. Also, the Title IX, discriminatory comments, they're not going to be tolerated by Eastern. They're not going to be tolerated by me. Again, we already said this. This is a college class. This is like a learning environment. There's a lot of talk in this class about culture and that kind of stuff. So let's keep going. All right. So the week 1 discussion. So this discussion is due Friday. That is different from our normal due date. So why is this discussion so important? This discussion is important. It's due Friday because the school has a participation, kind of like if you don't participate in the first week, you're oftentimes put on a list that potentially drops you. So in order to avoid anything like that, do this discussion. It's very easy. Do it now, right? Here in just a moment. You're going to finish listening to my little talk here first. So this is an opportunity to introduce yourself. I want you to answer the following questions. Who are you? What are you studying or plan to study or thinking about kind of like pursuing in college? If you don't know, that's acceptable, but maybe give us an idea. We're just talking about who we are. When and where in time would you go if you had a time machine? There's an art history element to this class. So give this a little bit of thought. Don't be that student that's too cool for school. Like, I just want to go surfing, so it doesn't matter when or where in time as long as there's an ocean. Don't be that person, right? Give it a little bit of thought. Where would you go, if you had the time machine? Why would you choose that time and place? And then just for fun, how do you get your caffeine? Are you a tea? Are you a pop? Are you a coffee person? All that kind of stuff. You can attach a photo if you wish. All right. So that is the first discussion. It's due Friday. All right. So one more thing before I lose everyone's attention. This is my email. This is very important. You need to email me from your Eastern West Virginia account. If you are emailing me from your K-12 account, from Yahoo, Google, chickenpotpie.com, whatever the case may be, there's a really good chance that it's going to get sent to junk email accounts. This isn't just for me. This is for all your Eastern professors. The school has kind of like blocking stuff to block spam and that kind of stuff. And oftentimes emails will get thrown into that junk email folder, and then we don't know you're having a problem. So with that being said, please send them from the Eastern account. There's also a place to send it right in Brightspace. You can email me from Brightspace. So if you're in there, you don't see the discussion, bam, you can just click on the thing and it will shoot me an email. Please also include your names in there, especially if you're someone who is a William but goes by Billy, or if you're a Jessica and you go by Billy. Kind of include those names so I know who you are, and especially the name that would be listed in the roster. That's kind of important for me, especially since a lot of you guys use kind of nicknames and stuff. So other than that, get your discussion done. It's going to be a great semester. Thank you for watching my little spiel.